The first thing to look out for on this car is rust, mostly on the sills and the back quarter panels, or right down here where it meets with the fender, and right here at the split, and then on the bottom here, and all the way on the back arches, mostly right here in the back, and right down here, and also behind these plastic covers. There's also usually rust right behind the bumper down there where the seam is. You can see it up there. And then there's also these bumper hangers which pretty much rust off all the time, nothing special. Also look for rust down here on these fenders, these bottom parts love to rust out because... Also look for rust on this front part, on these strut towers where the spring comes on. And also look for rust right behind here where the window meets the car. Also look underneath this panel where the ventilation is, where the water goes, that usually rusts out. For rust, also check under the carpet. It's best if you actually lift it up and check. These floor pans love to rust out. Now for the engine, this is a 8-valve 116 horsepower 85 kilowatts engine. This is the most basic one with the least power, but things to look out for: gaskets on the valve cover, on the head. These battery trays love to rust out, so check for rust under there. Check for broken pipes like this one. Also look down there and check the boots on the axles, they might be torn. Some of these cars also come with all sorts of alarms. Make sure it's not any crappy aftermarket one, because those like to go bad and then it doesn't work. Next point is also the rear brakes. It has double brakes, it has the calipers for the actual brakes, and then there's a drum brake behind there for the hand brake, and those back plates like to rust out. There's no replacement for those, so check it before you buy something, because you may not go through MOT without the handbrake. Next, check the seats so they're not too wobbly. These bolsters get torn apart because it's hard to get out of the car because of this curve, so this is usually squashed. Next thing to check, make sure all the switches work, all the stalks work. Especially check the ventilation and the heating, because the heater cores go bad and it's a nightmare to get it out. Check the ventilation if it works properly. Also check the air conditioning. The top of the dash also usually cracks because of old age and the sun, so don't worry too much about that. It's hard to get a really good one anymore. Also this vinyl upholstery on all the interior loves to unstick, like on the door cards. And also on the back seats. Also check the trunk, remove the floor, and check underneath the spare if there's any rust. It also loves to rust behind these panels, so try to remove this. It's pretty simple, there's a few clips and you just lift it off. Also you can check behind these compartments, you can see the strut tower and you can see if it's rusty at all. Also check the rear tail lights, it loves to crack around these parts and especially on the edges. Also check the button if the key actually works, because the spring in there likes to go bad. So that's pretty much it for this car. Make sure it's running well, make sure the brakes are okay, you know, the standard stuff, and follow these advices and you should be good for buying a Calibra. The front headlights are pretty bad from the factory, you're not gonna be able to see very well at night. There's these two weird ventilation sliders which you have to combine to make the perfect airflow for you. Also, when you're sitting in the car just driving along and you wanna roll down the windows, nope, those are just the mirror switches. Where is it? Oh, of course, right back here, so you have to stretch all the way back to get these down, and you're usually gonna press the wrong button. The speakers in this car are actually pretty good. One here, and one back there. This silly little cigarette lighter compartment, it rolls upwards for some reason. The locks are pretty weird. How to jack up the car? Simply remove a part of the sill, which usually falls off anyways, and then you have jacking points all the way underneath. And they usually get crushed because they didn't reinforce the chassis. The windows go down manually. Or you can actually reprogram them. Boom, they're automatic. These little sun visors actually have lights in them. The seats actually fold down flat. A lot of space. There is actually a light for inside the engine bay. Well, should be.